house, the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and Osiare GKB.
Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. As Nigerians continue to grapple with the hardship brought by scarcity of Naira notes, President Muhammadu Buhari has again appealed to Nigerians to exercise more patience. President Buhari said he is aware of the hardship, but the policy is meant to improve Nigeria's economy. The president urged them to vote for the APC standard bearer, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom he described as reliable and trustworthy. This is coming some days to the election, and why insinuation, a lot of people are insinuating that, look, all is not well with the All Progressive Congress and with the APC, yeah, and the president has again supported and maintained his stance as supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes, I think the point that the president is trying to make is to show that he supports the candidate of his party. Because at least I watched it.
As a
I
party
hope we can listen to it at some point. He spoke like somebody who supports the aspiration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He wants it to be on record that he spoke publicly about his desire to see Tinubu win this contest.
Outside the country.
Because he was not speaking to, he was speaking to Nigerians in general, because he talked about the problems we are going through, and then used the opportunity to say, look, we are going to do our best to ensure that these pains are mitigated. And then he used the opportunity to talk about the candidate of the APC, describing him as trustworthy, reliable, and that is sure that he will be a good president. This is not the first time he's saying that. There was an occasion when he described Asiwaju, when he said Nigeria was lucky that Asiwaju was in the race.
But some people will say that the body language and the action of Mr. President cannot be weighed with what he sees.
Shakespeare said there is no art by which you can measure the mind's intentions by simply looking at someone's face. So that works both ways. That is subject to dual interpretation. It can be interpreted to mean, oh, people are just misunderstanding him. He wants Asiwaju to win. Frankly, introducing this kind of policy and the shitty manner it has been implemented can only work against the APC. Can only work against, and that is why we've seen people who used to curse us and accuse us of being Buhari supporters. Today, because they've seen that it looks like, oh, this man has boxed his party into a corner, they are all now Buharis.
Yes.
The real Buharis, they are too ashamed to talk on social media now. They've had their lips buttoned up by an embarrassing and shambolic implementation of a so-called Naira repainting that they've called Naira redesign. So the real Buharis, they are ashamed of themselves where they are. They can't talk publicly. It is the people...
Latter days convert.
Yes, they are the ones who are having a field day now on social media, and the real Buharists, they are the ones who are wailing endlessly because they know that, this thing is what will bring this party down. So there's no way, and even on the streets of Kano and other places, in those ways where Asiwaju is really popular, you need to listen to radio programs, see the way they are talking about this president. Because, look, there's no self-destruct button that can be worse than this. So close to an election that you want your party to win, you've introduced a policy that by its implementation has inflicted unmitigated. I don't think there has been any program that has brought pain on Nigerians like this.
Impacting on people directly.
Negatively,
Across,
not just impacting,
yes.
negatively, badly negatively impacting on our people. Today, there are some staff of TVC who could not come to work.
Yep.
Because they can't raise even 200 naira to get into a bus. There are some that got into a bus, got here, they don't have money to go back. Is that bad? Yet, we have hypocrites who have dotted our landscape saying that they stand by the most incompetent central bank governor in Nigerian history. How do you stand by a man that we have not seen evidence of his competence at the job that has been given? So now the president, many people are not impressed with what the president has done.
Oh.
They think it's too late in the day.
Deleted, yes.
There are places where the APC was leading by an audacious margin in terms of constant polling that politicians are doing. Because if you are a good politician, you are focused on victory, you have to do your own polling.
Yeah.
You have to do your own polling. Now, the gap has been narrowed. Today, in some of those places, it's looking like too close to call because of this suffering that has been inflicted on our people.
And a lot of undecided voters, they just decided.
No, undecided voters, it's easy for them to say, I know, given what is going on. So the president must, in the inner recesses of his heart, ask himself pertinent questions. That if in 2019, this was the condition precedent before elections were held, will he be re-elected?
I make bold to say that this one is even more excruciating than the removal of subsidy.
I said this is the worst thing ever.
As in,
you know, when they
subsidy,
compare it, when they compare this to Shebi the other day, ASU was on strike. There are people who do not give a damn about ASU. They don't care about Western education. Their children don't go to school. But I've not seen an individual who will not spend money.
Naira.
You may be unconcerned about ASU because you don't have children who are in school. Maybe your children, they've left school, they've outgrown tertiary education. But you must spend money. Won't you spend money? How will you eat if you do not spend money?
Everybody.
Even in the biblical days, they had currency. They had currency. So what are we talking about? Everyone is affected by the need to spend money. I was speaking with my boss, and he said, Jide, there's 1,000 naira note is being with me. I refuse to spend it. Big man.
1,000 naira note.
He's just keeping it
Emergency.
like a war trophy.
Yes.
He's keeping it like a war trophy.
Yes. People are entering the public transport 200 naira now, and the conductor is now with POS, but no old notes.
Except for 200 naira. These are still collecting.
Yeah, 200 naira.
I think the problem is that of perception. And I don't think, and the party
How many
has
buses are you going to enter with POS, that you see POS?
I don't understand.
How many?
What
This
people,
Lagos.
what people,
All those boys not wearing those dirty boys.
Oh,
How many of them have POS?
How many of the passengers will do transfer to the conductor?
we are,
Before you get to your bus stop, the conductor will
You don't know how serious
transfer.
this problem.
it seems that we are,
Transfer that may not go.
Yeah, or we will not confirm the alert before you get down your own bus stop.
Somebody was eating today. They told him, you continue to eat. They said, we are waiting. Oh, this thing has not entered. He didn't know whether to regurgitate what he had eaten.
there was a joke I wanted to write that I stopped about somebody wanting to go to the public toilet who is very pressed. And then they give him a POS to put his card while he was doing this. Imagine somebody trying to use the public toilet who was
So
very
that I won't
pressed.
waste their time.
And so he's like, what do I do now? He said, it's not going through. Is he going to wet himself? I think the president has burnt bridges unnecessarily. And that to me is sad. Because we all know that for the last 7.5 years, he has tried, even to the point of being called Baba Go Slow, not to take decisions that will appear to reinforce the image he had before becoming a civilian president. He tried very hard sometimes not to do things that will even appear that the old Buhari is back. Imagine trying to manage your image for 7.5 years and then doing a policy that will undo all that in one fell swoop.
Nobody's talking about.
And nobody now, people are reminding themselves
Nobody's talking about railway.
newspaper
I don't know who advised him.
Newspaper cuttings of 1984 showing the same thing 30 years later.
Somebody sent me.
Daily Times cut.
Somebody sent
newspaper
me
cut.
Colintia in last song
In 84.
where he was saying to Buhari bring out money. Oh. We are hungry. Oh, there's no money. Oh.
There's a Daily Times cover page that somebody sent to me that reflects the fact that banks are hoarding money. 1984. That means the same Buhari that decided that this is the best way to run an economy in 84 is now back at the tail end of something.
Changing our currency. He was the last person that changed it in 1984.
No, there's
Change currency.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
We won't change currency.
After 1984.
But not really
change
this
now,
painful.
just change it. Even they introduce
New
new currency.
notes.
Don't forget
There was a
that.
time you want to do 5,000.
See, there was a time that they introduced polymer notes.
Yeah, for 20
and
naira.
side by side with the polymer notes, the usual paper money was being used. So it is not even true that, it's Buhari. They introduced polymer notes of 50 naira,
20 naira.
and 20 naira. And along with it, we were
The old notes were
using the
going.
old notes.
That
is the way it's supposed to be. It's
not
supposed to go
be time
together.
frame, yeah. Because whoever decided to give a time frame is not a friend of the president.
And whoever told the president about vote buying, that it will help vote buying. Because the president reflected
No,
that.
it will have been easier for the
No, that
president.
it even looks now like that is their main agenda. Because I've had economists say, look, there's no economic value to this thing.
None. None.
None. They talk about inflation. This one will worsen inflation.
Wasn't it?
Because
you are buying.
You are buying the currency.
You are buying your money.
You are buying naira.
So if you are buying at 10%,
So,
you know how much you
If you are a trader, for example, you are a business person, won't you pass the burden to the
buyer.
consumer? So how will this help inflation? I don't know the people come up with these lies, as if the rest of us have our heads scrambled. How can they help inflation when this thing is driving up the prices of everything, virtually everything?
Because you are buying your own money.
You are buying currency.
If you have 100 naira, what you have actually is 70 naira.
So how can they help inflation?
Because you are
How
using
can
30
they
naira to
reduce
buy 70
inflation?
naira.
Outright lies. It cannot also not reduce. Till today, there are still kidnapping people.
They are still
In
getting currency.
all those dangerous areas, they are still kidnapping people. Those guys are not interested. For them, they can ask you for dollars. If you can't find dollars, they will tell you, go and bring the new notes. If you truly love your person that is there, whatever they told you to do, you are going to do it.
That's why I'm very happy that the
So
party
this
came
is
forward.
not the solution to insecurity. It's not by changing currency.
It's not even a solution to vote buying. Because what stops the person from now using other currencies? You must use dollars. He wants to buy anything.
Okay.